Well, today is Wednesday, April the 29th, and we got what we were looking for. We got volume today. In fact, take a look at the volume today. It's the highest volume we've seen in 2 weeks, and it's the third highest volume that we've seen in 3 weeks. In fact, in 4 weeks. So we now have volume. We've got confirmed bullish movement. Let's take a look at the oscillator and look at it's going to get up to this very, very overbought area. Let's take a look at it on this chart. There it is. Going back to this 2019, it's not often that you see levels above 300. In fact, if we go back even earlier, we look back, let's take a look here, 2007. In 2007, we had oscillator readings over 300. This little cluster here, right after the all-time low of the S&P and the Dow. So when we started this March 10th, 2009 move up, that's been a bull market ever since after the financial crisis of 2007 and 8. We had these signs here. We also, beforehand, when we were continuing to move down, we had these attempted rallies. One here, one here. That was it. And we saw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days above 300. So we've got to think now that this is what we're looking at as well. We're looking at a repeated pattern in this area above 300, and we're going to continue to move up, particularly if states reopen, businesses reopen slowly. Look, unemployment of 22 million people, and tomorrow it's supposed to be as high as 30 million perhaps. This isn't going to go away this summer, but the market is looking further ahead and thinking that better times are ahead. But there is some struggling left to do. Still, we need to be, there's no cure. The market did move today that there could be something that could be quite helpful for patients, but a cure, they haven't labeled it as a cure, and it's certainly not a vaccine. There's more testing that needs to be done. So there's still a lot of opportunity to continue to be very volatile, but it does look like the market says we are moving higher. Let's take a look at the S&P. Stopped at the 200, but it ended the day right at the 61.8% Fibonacci of X to A. So it is on its way to 3150. Let's see how quickly it can get over the 200. It wouldn't surprise me if there was some pullback, maybe to the flat cloud, but the general direction is going to be to complete this Gartley. I'm now convinced of it, unless something drastic happens. Remember this news about the Gilead drug came out 2 weeks ago? Market popped right here. And then maybe that wasn't such good news. Maybe the clinical trials weren't that good. The market dropped. And now we've had it again. The same drug. And now Fauci has come out and said that it looks like it's something that we want to start administering to patients that have severe cases. So all looking good. Got the 200 here. Got the flat cloud. Keep all those things in mind. Where did the Chiku span end up today? Right there. Right on the 50. So you had a combination of three things. You had the 61.8%, the 200 EMA, and the Chiku span on the 50. All those three things happened today. That's where the intersection of the Chiku span today would have been at its high right at this point right here. So three things. Home Depot up 1.93%. Didn't close as high as it opened yesterday, but it's got a flat cloud attracting it as well. The Chiku span today, where was it stopped? Right up here. So a little bit higher, where we've got that green line. a little bit higher than the 50 SMA, but close enough to say that that was what acted as resistance today. Caterpillar up 4%, and now we're above the cloud. The Chiku span today was stopped at where? Let's draw that green line right in here. And it's going to be right there. So the Chiku span was not stopped by the 50. It was stopped below the 50. Tomorrow, that line will be a little bit higher, and we're going to be looking at the Chiku span resistance at the 50 here. The SMIs show positive in both directions. Google, which reported yesterday after earnings, left this gap and had this kind of a doji day, a fight between the buyers and the sellers, or let's say the profit takers and the buyers, and that's where we ended up. Today, we did not hit the 50 SMA on the Chiku span. NVDA is over 300. Still not time to add to my position, but I'm happy with the 6 contracts that are doing very well. Let's put an alert right up here, and if we can get a new high, then we'll be heading towards this high, but we'll be looking to add on to NVIDIA here. Let's look at the auto harmonics. I thought there was one in there. It must have just disappeared off the charts, but there we go. So we are on our way to 333.95, and we can buy some more above 303.17, and that would be buying the 305s and the 310s is I think what I'll do. And it's June. Maybe I'll look at May, see how expensive those are. Andy's call, SDC, had a doji day today, but finished up 27 cents. Whirlpool up 7.6%, amazing day. Look at that, stopped by the 61.8 and not quite at the 50 Chiku span at the 50, but we will look for that tomorrow. If it's a bullish day tomorrow, we could have a little bit of a pullback tomorrow. We don't stay above the McClellan oscillator above 300 for long periods of time, but we could go down below it and come back up again on Friday. Where are we? Shopify, geez, just makes me sick. CrowdStrike had a down day today. Cisco, 84 cents. Where was its high today? Not quite at the Chiku span 50 SMA, but we'll look for that tomorrow. GDX, we had a trend line in here. Let's go back to over here, and let's look at this one here with the GDX. And there's the trend line. And look at the ranging day we had today. That must have been just a bad record. But anyhow, we did finish below the trend line today. So that's the one that we wish that we had here. We'll have to get that trend line in on this chart. Amazon reports tomorrow with Apple. A little bit of a pullback. Did we skip Apple? We may have skipped Apple. But earnings tomorrow, look for it to, hold on, where's Apple? There we go, here's Apple. Apple broke through the 61.8%, definitely heading towards 314.71. I would expect good earnings from Apple and no forward guidance. Facebook, which had earnings tonight, popped. Let's look at it after market. Look at that pop. Wow, Facebook. If you're in on Facebook, you're a happy person. Netflix finally getting some footing and moving up. AT&T up $1, but stopped at the cloud. Chiku span just ekes out over the 8, but it was the cloud that proved to be the resistance today. Price almost got to the 50 extended moving average. So that's all the stocks we're going to look at today. We can just quickly run through some of the others. Hertz, down. Taste, Burger King. Applied something, broke through this wedge and is now moving downwards. I would take my eye off that one for the time being. BP, Exxon, good call there, Andy, if you bought in on BP and Exxon when we were discussing them. That's a winner. Silver, stopped by the cloud. Gold, big pullback from its trend line. So you don't want to be moving into gold until, well, we're going to have to see some weakness in the market for gold to pick up again. But you're going to look for it to happen above this trend line. So that's it for today. What tomorrow brings is probably a little bit of a pullback from this kind of bullishness. Now we've made a new high. We've taken out the new high. Let's see the 2020 here. We've taken out the we've taken out that high, and that's not giving me everything, is it? Let's go back to this one, and there we go. That's the new point today. So look for a little bit of a pullback tomorrow, but the general momentum is certainly to go higher. And the only thing that we didn't show you was the summation index. Remember we said the summation index was our guide to what's going to happen in the future? Well, it's well like 3 to 6 months out. It's well now over zero. But we've seen this before where we had the pullback, so we could have another pullback. It's always in the cards, but right now it's going to be dependent on companies reopening and rehiring. And that, of course, is directly tied to COVID.